Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. I'm meteorologist Tim Pandajis. We're going to squeeze out one more hot and sticky day today. Highs in the upper 90s to near 100 with humidity, feeling like 105 to 107, and that will set the stage for storms later today with an incoming cold front. That front digs under that warm, humid air, forces it to rise, and we see widespread showers and thunderstorms developing, most of which will have extremely heavy downpours. So here's a look at that timeline. We're at lunchtime now. We're clear and quiet, just a few isolated downpours well in the north. By 2 o'clock, we'll start to see storms arrive in our northern counties. That line gathers and organizes and pushes south towards the I-10 corridor, right in the heart of the evening commute. So between 5 and 7 p.m., and then south of there towards the coast by around 8 o'clock this evening. It doesn't go far. It stalls out offshore, and that keeps the rain chances in the picture through tomorrow. In fact, more downpour chances and flooding risk, and also into the weekend we have rain chances up, really right through the middle of next week. All right, here's a look at modeling. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's that line of storms developing and starting to gather. Notice it begins spreading east, too, along the front as it really interacts with that daytime heating. Plenty of fuel available here. By 5 o'clock, stretching along the I-10 corridor, pushing along and south of it by 7 o'clock this evening, and approaching the coastal communities by 8 to 9 o'clock before it slowly, gradually pushes offshore and stalls out for just a little while before it looks to lift its way back. So now with a front coming on into such a unstable environment with the hot and humid conditions, we've got the risk of some severe weather. Now, we grade this on a 1 to 5 scale. A level 1, which is where we are at now, is the lowest risk of severe weather, but it's not 0. And the risks that we're concerned with are some gusty winds with this scenario. We've got 40, 50, maybe 60 mile per hour wind gusts in some of the stronger or severe cells. Not concerned about large hail, nor tornadoes, although the risk isn't 0 for these either. On top of this, look out for extremely frequent lightning. We've got such high instability, and that tends to lead to highly electrified storms due to all the humidity that's out there. Street flooding also an issue. That's also a symptom of the high humidity, plenty of atmospheric moisture available. It gets squeezed out like a sponge, so 1 to 2 inch an hour rainfall rates certainly can't be ruled out. And that's enough to overwhelm the drainage basins and lead to some brief street flooding. Here's a look at rainfall totals as we go through tonight with the initial movement of the front coming on through. 1 to 2 inches, maybe some areas 3 or 4 inches that see the heavier, steadier rain for a longer period of time. But stretching out to tomorrow night, notice what happens. That front lifts back north and instigates more downpour development, so we could double those totals in the next 48 hours. Great news for drought conditions. This is the brand new updated report released this morning, and it shows, I wouldn't go as far as saying a massive improvement, because where it's bad, it's still bad, just not as bad as it was last week, if that makes sense. We saw an actual drop in severe drought coverage, as well as extreme drought coverage and exceptional drought coverage, so that's good news, encouraging, but we need to see this play out week after week, and I do think it does that with more rain chances on the way throughout the entirety of Texas over the next week or so. Here locally, this is what it looks like for us with the new updated drought monitor report. Big improvements in a lot of our major counties. Harris County, last week the entire county was in extreme drought. Now it's only 36%, a third of it. A drop of 64%. Montgomery County, even better, 0%. Last week, 68% of the county was in extreme drought. So they've wiped that out, and improvements in Chambers as well, 32% drop, only 4% of the county under extreme drought conditions. So good news, encouraging, and with more rain on the way, that looks even better with the light at the end of the tunnel. Rain chances stay up as we go on through the rest of the work week and even into next week as well. All right, let's talk tropics briefly, because we've got a tropical wave here that actually looks pretty convectively active, even though it's over land technically at the moment. It's going to emerge into the southern Gulf of Mexico, and that's when it looks like there may be some chance of development. Not the highest of chances, still classified as low, but there's a chance, 20 to 30% there. The best case for this is that this throws additional tropical moisture in our direction, enhancing our rainfall chances as we go into next week. Right now, those stand at around 60% each day through the middle of next week, and temperatures as a result getting held back a bit in the upper 80s and low 90s, coming in below average through Wednesday.